Greetings. I'm Doc V, and February is Black History Month. And today I would like to share some of the great accomplishments of African Americans. I'm going to start off with some of the inventions that we're comfortable today and are benefiting from. And these inventions were created by African Americans. Let's look at the wire precision electrical resistor. It was created by Otis Boykin, who lived 1920 to 1982. Mark Dean assisted in creating the first gigahertz chip that makes your PC monitors color. He was born in 1957. He's still alive. Frederick McKinley Jones, automatic long-haul truck refrigeration system. 1983, died in 1961. That's Frederick McKinley Jones. Jerry Lawson, the Fairchild Channel F video game console and cartridge. 1940, he passed away in 2011. Let me continue. Alice H. Parker, the gas furnace. She lived between 1895 and 1920. African-American woman. Garrett Morgan, the three-position traffic signal. He was born in 1877, died in 1963. Your traffic light, the traffic signals, when you're driving up and down the highway, the three-position traffic signal. An African-American made that. Mary Van Brittan Brown, home security system. She lived between 1922 and 1999. Lewis Latimer, carbon filament for incandescent light bulbs. He lived from 1848 to 1928. I could go on and on about the accomplishments that African Americans or Black Americans have contributed to society. Many of you have heard of the cotton gin. Eli Whitney's cotton gin that made it easier for the slaves to gather up and to pick cotton in the cotton fields during slavery. Well, this idea was derived by one of the black slaves. They put a little contraption together and showed Mr. Eli Whitney how it was put together and the mechanics of it, and Eli took it and made a patent out of it. The original idea came from African American. Well, came from a black slave. Many of us understand and know the history, the general history of blacks being descendants of slavery, the transatlantic slave trade 250 years ago, when slaves were brought over and forced into hard labor and just were property. Now, things have changed since then, but there's still some racial tension and some issues because some people just do not want to see African Americans at an equal footage with whites. It's a lot better, but we still have that. I want to talk about sports and athletics. Blacks only make up a little over 13% of the U.S. population. But on the professional football fields and the professional courts in NBA, there's a very high percentage of blacks that are participating and that are successful in these sports. Really, the statistics are really alarming. And it's really, just let me just read them to you. NFL, it's 70% black. The athletes make up 70% of the National Football League. The NBA, 81% of the National Basketball Association is black, 81%. Mind you, again, blacks only make up a little over 13% of the U.S. population. So why are blacks being recruited and put in high positions in athletics? Because there evidently is some gifts and talents athletically that are present in the black community. Statistics do not lie. Teams want to win, and if they want to win, they're going to recruit the most talented and the most gifted athletes. And the most talented and the most gifted athletes happen to be of African descent. Yes, I'm trying to boost you young black men, or you old black men, and you young black women, and you older black women. I'm trying to boost you up. I'm trying to pump you up. This is Black History Month, and I want you to know where you came from, who you are the descendants of. I'm going to take it another step further. Some of you are going to have some difficulty handling this, but just research it. I'm not going to beat you over the head with it, but I'm just going to go through my list. The 12 tribes of Israel. Many times we see the Israelites depicted in movies. We see what happened to Jesus on the cross depicted in movies. We see Samson depicted in movies. Let me read. The 12 tribes of Israel. It took me some weeks and months to put this together and then to research and to make sure that I had my data correct. I'm not going to go through much detail here, but I am going to give you the main bullet points. The 12 tribes of Israel. The tribe of Reuben, Black Indian. The tribe of Simeon, Latino. The tribe of Levi, the descendants are the Haitians. The tribe of Judah, Black Americans. The tribe of Dan, Black. The tribe of Naphtali, brown skin, Black. The tribe of Gad, India. The tribe of Asher, Black. The tribe of Benjamin, Black. The tribe of Joseph, Indian. The tribe of Ephraim, Black. And the tribe of Manasseh, Black. I researched genealogies. I researched the original cities that these tribes were placed at over in Africa and over in the Middle Eastern area. And I researched in the American archives, and I went and researched some of the European archives. And I learned that most of the tribes of Israel, were of African descent. I'm going to stop there. There's scriptural reference that tie into certain tribes, Ethiopia, Ham, the descendants of Ham, Moses. I could go on and on, but it's going to cause an uproar if I try to debate with you now, and I'm not going to debate with you now. Do your own research. So, why have African Americans descended from such a great heritage, but today in our society, we're still hurting. We're still not rising up to the people that we are and to the people that our descendants show, not our descendants, but our forefathers, that we are the descendants from, have set examples of what we come from, what we come from. There's certain names of some of the main characters in the Bible, and those names were changed to European names. I'm really trying not to dig in too much and start naming some Hebrew names of some of the descendants of the Israelites that are here with us today. And many of the descendants are of African descent. So in summary, our people come from a great heritage, great minds, great inventors. I studied some of the archaeological structures over in Egypt. No, I haven't been there yet. I just studied books, researched the library, YouTube, Google. My dream trip is to go over to Israel, not Israel, they're fighting over there, but go over to Egypt once the war is over with and visit and see the pyramids, to gaze upon the pyramids and go to the Cairo Museum in Egypt, and also walk and tour Luxor Temple and Karnak Temple. Now, from the photos that I saw, many of the heads, the nose and the lips of the 60-foot tall sculptures were blown off, but they didn't get them all. And the ones that they didn't destroy, you can see the wide nose and the thick lips and the jawline that are representative of African American. So such great artifacts, such great history, that although some of it is eroded and some of it through war and through time has crumbled, you can still see what is left. There's paintings inside of the tombs. There are statues that are broken apart, but when they put the statues together, they see the figure and the form of a black man. About 10 years ago in the Mediterranean Sea, the satellite, one of the European satellites, picked up something close to the shore of Africa in the Mediterranean Sea. And they're like, what is that? They picked it up through satellite. So they went down and they went to the people in that area, and they said, we would like to explore, go underwater and explore the Mediterranean Sea. And they petitioned and they tried to work it out with the government, and they would not let them go down there. But eventually the money was right and the time was right, and they said, come on, we'll give you a couple of months, get your equipment down here, fly your equipment in, and go down to the Mediterranean Sea and see what you think you found down there. They went down, I guess 30 feet under the sand. 30 feet in the water, and then they went under the sand and they found something. And they chained it up and they hooked it up and they pulled it together. What I'm saying to you, and I tell my students this, whatever I tell you, you can go to Google and you can look it up. You can go to the library, you can research it, and you can find that what I'm telling you is true. Anyway, they chained up some large objects that weighed several hundred pounds, several tons. And they pulled it up, and they pulled it up, and they pulled it up. And when they pulled it out of the sand and out of the water, what did they find? 60-foot tall statues of a black image. The lips, nose, facial structure, headdress, all in place. The bone structure of the musculature that was carved out, all in place, because it did not erode, because it was under the water and under the sand, no telling how many thousands of years. They pulled it up and they sat it up, and it was like, wow. It was proof of a great civilization, a great Egyptian civilization, African civilization, there was no doubt that these figures represented great black leaders thousands of years ago, buried underwater, buried under the sand in the Mediterranean. You don't hear that talked about much in the main media. When an African-American male does something wrong, gets tied up in a financial scam, or gets tied up in a conflict of interest scam, or gets involved in a crime, or goes off and has to be arrested, you will find that in the media every doggone time. But when they dug up 1,000-year-old replicas of black kings and leaders from back in the Bible days, or even before Christ, they don't show you that. They put it in the museum over there in Europe. That's nice. And if you want to know about all that, you got to go over there. There's something wrong with that. I'm doing my part to share African-American man, African-American woman, African-American boy or young man, or African-American young lady. You come from something great. Your ancestors were great. Your ancestors were brilliant, talented, powerful, strong. And during this Black History Week or Black History Month, I want you to be proud and I want you to be strong. I want you to know your worth. I want you to know that you come from kings. I want you to know that you come from greatness. So, African-American man, African-American woman, know that you come from greatness. I'm Doc V, and I'll see you next time.